Hey fellow explorers, and welcome to the 400K Q&A live stream. Let's go ahead and get started with the clapper. There we go. This is part 2 of my 400,000 subscribers celebration. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to dive into the history of how we got here with 400,000 and learn about why we create these YouTube videos that we do, then watch the video from 2 days ago. If you're watching the archive, I'll put the link to that in the description if you want to check it out after this one. This one is a free-form open question and answer session, so it'll be a lot more interesting the more questions we get on the live stream. The first question I got was from Twinson, and it was actually before going live. Twinson posted it on my announcement for this, and Twinson's question was, Chris, what are the 4 videos you are most proud of? And so I'm going to answer that by showing you a few videos. We're not going to watch the videos, but some of these videos that and I picked 5 because it's hard to pick 4. 5, fits on one hand. So one of the videos I'm most proud of is my cool vending machines in Tokyo, Japan. Why? And I'm gonna run this a little bit, but I'm gonna mute the sound. One of the things I'm really proud of related to this video, this was one of my first popular videos. You see, I published this video 15 years ago, and it's not a long video. It's a 3-minute video all about the vending machines in Tokyo, Japan, which are really amazing. So that's one that I am proud of. The second video I'm proud of is this one, which is my Singapore travel tips video, 6 things to know before you go. This video was published 8 years ago. This was my first video to hit 1 million views that wasn't about Las Vegas. So that's why I'm proud of this video. Also, many Singaporeans comment on this, and many of my other Singaporean guides saying, like, this is the best video we've ever seen on Singapore. So thank you so much to my Singaporean friends. I'm also very proud of my Guam travel guide. Why? This one was published recently, 10 months ago, but has almost 200,000 views. It is one where it's like Guam doesn't seem like a big destination, but many people have been interested and watched this video, so that's a lot of fun. I'm also really proud of this recent video from 3 weeks ago of our 1 week on the big island of Hawaii. Over the past year and a half or so, we've been working on these what I call movie-length vlogs that are an hour plus in length of our whole trip to a destination, and so it's glad to see many of you are resonating with those, so thank you for watching. This one's gotten almost 30,000 views in 3 weeks, which is pretty good for 3 weeks. And finally, number 5, proud of this video and videos like this. This is my Tokyo Central walking tour of the new Tokyo Central supermarket in Irvine. This video, published a month ago, has 142,000 views. And you know what? In the world of things I might have started out on this channel thinking will do well, I never thought when I set out in 2008 to start Yellow Productions that supermarket tours would be a thing that I do, but it turns out the supermarket tours do really well, particularly Japanese supermarket tours, but also tours inside Costco and Amazon Fresh and things like that. So if there's a place that you want to see me do a video tour of, well, let me know. So that's one that I've just kind of dove into, and I think it's like one of those where like it's a little bit of original content. It's not something that a lot of other people do, so then these do well. Okay, so that was to answer Twinson's first question. Imperial the Viander says, I love the supermarket tours you made. Thank you very much. Killer Chronicles says, Chris, why don't you have a Catalina Island video? I am enraged. I am sorry to have raged you, Killer Chronicles. OC Girl, she gets seasick. She doesn't like the motion of the ocean on a boat. We have been to Catalina Island, but it was before we really considered ourselves YouTubers, and so we didn't make a video on it. It is one that I do intend to make at some point. I'll probably just have to go myself for a day trip to make that video, but many people have asked for it, so it is on the list. Alex says, one of my favorite videos was the tour of the Amazon grocery store down there in Orange County. I was excited to check it out when I was down there. Awesome. Janelle says, maybe we need an Erewhon tour. Janelle, I have tried. I've tried to do an Erewhon tour, and after about 30 seconds having my camera out, their security came in and stopped me. So that one probably won't be on the list. Imperial the Viander says, so what are the future plans for your channel? Keep making more videos like I'm making. I'm not one to like write down my 10-step plan to world domination. So keep making videos that I hope you all watch. Those are the future plans for the channel. Laura says, have you ever made a video which was so meaningful emotionally that you did not release it to the public? No. I would say my most emotional video that I made was the one when the original Topher was stolen in London, where we were stolen from at a cafe. They took my camera bag with my camera and the original Topher. That was a very sad day. But I decided to release that video anyway. That's when many of you sent me pandas that are back here. So thank you so much for those of you who did and started the Yellow Productions crew. Henry, thank you so much for your support, Henry. Henry says, Chris, what do you think is most likely in the next 5 to 10 years? A Yellow Productions book, you starting a podcast? I think either would be great. I don't know, like I kind of consider this almost a podcast in a sense, although it's just me talking instead of interviewing people. I could sit down and interview more people. I'd need to make it a different space so I could sit down and do that. A book would be interesting. Guidebooks would be interesting. I mean, I don't know, you know. What do you want to see in the next 5 or 10 years, Henry? One of the things that I am thinking of to, like, that might be a next thing to do is I do feel like some written companion to the video travel guides would be interesting. On my website for Yellow Productions, it's really a pretty cheesy website. I've kind of let it lay fallow for the past couple years, but I basically just repost the videos that I post to YouTube with the description that's in the YouTube video as the text of the video. And I'm wondering if anybody would find it worthwhile to have like a text-based version of the travel guide, especially when we do something like 7 days in Big Island that kind of like lays out the itinerary and then lays out a little bit more of the attractions. And then obviously when the video is posted to say like, hey, if you want to see the written form of this, you know, you can go here. I mean, again, something I'm toying with in my head that I haven't executed yet because there's only so many hours in the day. Franco says that minimalistic t-shirt design is neat. This one right here. All right, I'm glad you enjoy this one. I don't know if I've put this one up on the Yellow Production shop yet. I have a few new designs to put up there, so this might be one of the new designs that needs to go up there. Boston Elevators says, would you consider doing a full up-to-date guide in Boston? And when I am in that part of the world, it is probably worthwhile to update my Boston guide. Dallas says, Chris, do you have any more plans for Canada trips? Absolutely. No immediate plans, but we definitely want to explore more of Canada. In particular, Montreal is on our list, and so is Toronto. Those are a couple places on our list in Canada. Kat says, what are your 3 favorite cities to do live stream in and why? Kat, when I'm live streaming, I'm typically at home in California, so I'm typically not live streaming out and about in the world. I just generally live stream from the studio. I find pretty much if I'm out and about in the world that wherever I am, I'm bandwidth challenged, and the live streams just never look that good on the replay. And my goal with the live streams is to make them something that people will watch at the time, but also hopefully watch years later and have a good quality to do that, which is why I live stream when I am at home. Narrow says, any plans for Yellow Productions merch you haven't made before? I do have a few designs that I haven't released yet that I'll get out sometime this year before the holidays, so that if you're looking for some new Yellow Productions shirts, you can get some of those. Oh, Wheezy says, when you come back to DC, we do hope to get to DC next year for the, what is it, like, you know, a 250th celebration, like of the U.S. or something. Like there's some big celebration in D.C. next year, I think. So there's also the new Smithsonian, like Air and Space Museum. I think that's all built out that we want to go see. So on our list, a place to see. Michael wants to see me design a luggage brand. All right. Thank you for the suggestion, Michael. Brandon says, I love reading. I would love to read your guides in written form. Thank you for that feedback, Brandon. Imperial the Beyonder says, can we throw a party for your subscriber special? Well, let me tell you, I've already, I mean, you certainly can. You certainly can throw a party. I've got the Topher dance party right here. I just had to use that again because it's such a such a good clip. Alex says, my favorite shirt is still the original with the film strip logo. Killer Chronicle says, do you have a day job? Are you all in on YouTube? Day job, for sure. Both OC Girl and I have day jobs. I work in the software industry, and OC Girl works in the network engineering industry. Derek says, what are your favorite day trips to take from Taipei? Keelung is kind of a cool day trip from Taipei, and so is Dan Shui. Those are two of our favorite day trips from Taipei. Colleen says, absolutely loved your Banff video. Awesome, Colleen. Thank you for the feedback on Banff. I'm glad people watch those. Grant says, Chris, what are you drinking tonight? A special drink for tonight from Tokyo Central. In fact, what is this? This is a Japanese milk tea that is popular in Okinawa, the kind of big island, tropical island of Japan. So, how does it taste? It tastes kind of like an Earl Grey milk tea, slightly sweetened. Miguel, thank you so much for your support. Miguel says, I've been a viewer for many years. Glad to see you with this milestone. Hope to get 1 million subs soon. Thank you so much, Miguel. Where's one place you want to visit that you haven't in your adventures? There's a lot of places that we want to visit that we haven't. We have yet to visit anywhere in Latin America. We have yet to visit anywhere in Africa. Places that are maybe more nearer to our list of places that we would go that we haven't been to. Iceland on our list. Finland, Greece. Those are a couple right off the top that are maybe more near term of places we haven't been to. Dallas says, I would love to buy Yellow Productions hoodie with a Topher on the back. All right, thank you for that suggestion, Dallas. I had a good source for yellow hoodies that now, they don't make that yellow hoodie anymore, so I need to find a new source for yellow hoodies. Points Traveler says, any upcoming trips to other cities in the USA? Colorado is going to be our next visit in the USA. I am also thinking about updating the San Francisco guide as one that a lot of people has asked for too. Janelle says, is Chris going to try a Zoox taxi in Vegas for us? Is that one of the autonomous taxis or something like that? Janelle, I guess since you've asked, I will probably have to. Alex, thank you for your support for no apparent reason. So I appreciate support for any reason, apparent ones or unapparent reasons. Franco says, if you come to Argentina, I'm 100% available to help you. Sounds good, Franco. Hopefully you'll help me find some delicious Argentinian steak. Alex wants me to bring back the Office Survival Guide. And Boston Elevators wants to know when is it coming out. I don't know. It's another one. Just only so many hours in the day. So thank you for your note that you would like to see more there. Henry says, if you and your family can someday somehow move abroad, where would it be? It would be Japan. That's where we would move abroad if we could. Maybe after Japan, it would be Singapore, but I would pick Japan over Singapore because I think I like the weather better in Japan. There we go. Or at least it's not always deathly hot. On the note of my luggage brand, all the luggage is going to be yellow. Of course it would. Beauregard says, what about the caffeine? What about the caffeine? Beauregard, what about it? Okay. Imperial of Yonder asks a question of the chat. Do we all agree that this is the best YouTuber? So I'll leave that all up to y'all to answer that question. Brandon says, what part of Japan, Chris? Probably Tokyo would probably be the part of Japan. I mean, it is one where I feel like the great part about Tokyo, there's so much to do, and I like the greenery in Tokyo, the energy in Tokyo, so that's probably where it would be. Chicken Marsala says, is it getting harder for you and the fam to travel as your daughter starts school? She is in kindergarten now, in the kindergarten, which is kind of a transition of the preschool that she was at, so no, not yet. Colleen says, what is the traveling princess favorite place to travel to? Japan is her favorite place to travel to. In particular, she remembers this one hotel that we went to with a ball pit in Japan. And if I can, let's see, Hoshino Resorts, Rizanare, Atami. This hotel, boop, here, boop, boop, boop. This hotel is her favorite hotel, and can I zoom back to this ball pit over here? Well, anyway, that scene that had the ball pit in it This is the only hotel we've ever stayed at that had a ball pit in the hotel. So that is why Japan is our favorite place we've traveled to, particularly for that ball pit. There's also like Slide in Japan, Yellow Productions. She really, and does it come up? Oh, why doesn't it come up? I don't know. I don't know where that is. But we went on this like amazing slide in Japan. That was like a roller slide. Here, do a roller slide. Not roller coaster in Yokohama, Japan. Roller. Why are you not typing? Roller slide, Japan. Basically looks like this one. This is someone else who posted a video on it. Maybe it comes up as a roller slide Japan. Oh, did we make it a Curious Princess video? It could be a Curious Princess video. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. The super long roller slide in Japan. So this is this slide. Like, this is a long slide. This is a slide that just keeps on going and going and going and going. Gone. All right. She went on that slide like 50 times. Something like that. Favorite slide ever. Okay. Let's go back to more questions. Kat says, can you visit Cleveland, Ohio? Cleveland, Ohio. I've been to Cleveland once, driving through. When I was driving from the East Coast to the West Coast, I drove through Cleveland, Ohio. I clearly need to spend more time in it rather than just driving through. Boston Elevator says the Tokyo Tower attractions are pretty cool, meaning like all the tall things in Tokyo. Is that what you mean? Yeah, I think they are. Supreme Trap X says, have you ever had any involvement with any TV show, movie, animation, video game, commercial, ad, or other forms of media before or in the past? Not really as like a thing before doing YouTube, but there are some like Japanese television stuff that I've done. Japanese TV. So this, I did a whole live stream at one point about like what it's like to be on a Japanese TV show, where I talk about my experience of being on this Japanese TV show. This was one where, here's maybe like here's a screenshot of that. Yeah, so here we go. That's, there's a few Japanese TV experiences that we've had. When we went to Fukushima, Japan, for the day we were there, a news crew followed us around for the day, so that was a lot of fun. You can see this is the Japanese news crew back there, and then there's also back here. We also did a video for a Japanese morning TV show all about Round One, which is a Japanese arcade that has some locations in the USA, and so I spent a day with a Japanese television crew, just basically showing Japanese viewers what a Japanese arcade and bowling alley in the USA looks like. And of course it's funny because I feel like Japanese morning shows are basically just YouTube reaction videos. So while I'm like showing people around this arcade, there's these other people in the corner who are like, oh, so desu ne. Yes, all right, very good. So that was a fun experience. But it did feel a little bit like Lost in Translation with Bill Murray, where the director is trying to tell him things like more intensity, and I'd be like, I hear the words you're trying to tell me, I just don't. More, louder, more excited. I'm like, how do I get more excited than this? I think I'm pretty excited. Okay. Brandon says, I enjoy playing at Round One. I do too. I like Round One, probably my favorite arcade chain. Points Traveler says, have you visited Golden Gai in Shinjuku? Sure have. I actually have a walking tour on it. If you see my Kabuki Cho walking tour that maybe I published like, when? I don't know, 6 months ago? I think, something like that. If you search for Yellow Productions Kabuki Cho, I tour through Golden Gai as well. Golden Gai is the area with all the really small bars in Shinjuku, like bars that fit like 6 or less people in it. Alex asks if I've ever stayed at the Grand Wailea in Maui. I've not stayed at the Grand Wailea. I do enjoy the Andad, and so I just tend to go back there again and again. Imperial the Yonder reminds people, if you're enjoying this and you haven't liked it yet, please do so. And if you haven't subscribed, I'm not going to get to 1 million unless you subscribe, so please do so. If all 400,000 of you just find 2 more people to subscribe, we'll be at 1 million tomorrow. So, all right, that'll be fun. Matatatat says, how often do you get sick of traveling abroad? How often? Not often. Really not sick of traveling abroad. I enjoy traveling. Where the places like when I don't enjoy travel, I guess, is when like flights go really wrong, like being stuck in airports. That is not fun. Like when I'm stuck in airports with like significant flight delays, then I get really sick of traveling. But as long as things work well, then Chris is generally a happy boy. Imperial Levianer says, what if you watch Go Animate videos for the first time? I don't know what those are, so I don't know what if I do. Kat says, how about visiting Dallas? The Texas State Fair has the famous Big Tex. You can have Princess in a picture there with Big Tex. Yeah, we like fairs, so we'll have to think about that, going to Dallas when the State Fair is there. It is one, a lot of people have recommended that, so I'll keep that in mind. Tioga really loves the Grand Wailea. Killer Chronicles asks if I stayed at the Terranea Resort in Rancho Palos Verdes. I have not. I've driven by it many times, like especially if I'm taking people on like a tour of Southern California. You know, I'll do kind of that coastal PCH drive and drive by there. Have you stayed there, Killer Chronicles? Is it amazing? For those who are unfamiliar, it is probably like one of Southern California's, like, I don't know if I'll say like most impressive looking, at least, resorts from the outside. Rancho Palos Verdes is like this one kind of like little, I don't know if I would call it undeveloped parts of the Los Angeles area, but it is a pretty, I don't know, fairly pristine coastal neighborhood with this neat resort on it. Dining with Derek says, what is the best flight you've ever taken? It has to be Singapore Airlines business class, Singapore to Taipei. That's when I've flown it a few times, but that was the one in recent memory, particularly coming from Singapore in business, because then I could go to the Singapore Airlines business class lounge at the Singapore airport, which is amazing. Franco says, have you ever had a flight with severe turbulence? Yeah. I mean, I guess there's all levels of severe turbulence, but I would say there definitely have been flights that I've been on where it was like, oh, we're rocking and rolling. Not so much that like I've been on flights where people have hit their head on the top, but I also feel like that's more of a product of, are people wearing their seatbelts or not? I've certainly been on flights where drink carts are flying all over and things like that. It is one where I try not to let that bother me and just kind of go and say, the pilots are trained, the planes are made for this, and so we're gonna make it through. So far we have. All right. Boston, Elevators and Aviation says delays, cancellations, anything of that nature is definitely fun. Yes, sarcasm is one of the many services you offer, Boston Elevators. Codgeful of Love says, I definitely need a Houston airport tour. Planning is hard without a Yellow Productions video. I have been through the Houston airport many times, never made a video on it. Next time I'm through there, you'll be sure I'll record it. Colleen says, what's your favorite airline? Singapore Airlines, favorite airline. Airline that I fly the most with is United Airlines. I have over 1 million flight miles with United Airlines, which means I get some lifetime elite status with United Airlines. So I tend to continue to fly United more than others because of that status of checked bags and premium economy and first to board and all that stuff, which is just pretty nice. Imperial Levianer says, what is the longest flight you've been on? Los Angeles to Singapore, or Los Angeles to Sydney, Australia, Los Angeles to Melbourne, Australia. All these flights are like in the 16, 17 hour range. Justin says, I think the question was, how often do you get ill aboard? I don't know, like everybody, like I get sick, but I think that like some people maybe who get sick more when they travel than others, or people who get stressed out about it, or people who aren't used to it. I'm pretty used to it at this point, so like the act of travel doesn't really like stress me out or drain me. But you know, when I was in Kuala Lumpur on the last trip to Kuala Lumpur, those of you who are regular followers on the channel may have noticed that my voice was not up to par. I was definitely losing it. And then, you know, that was like, that was more just like a respiratory symptom. But then, like stomach sort of thing, you know, like if you're in a place where the sanitation just isn't what you're used to, then, you know, so by the end of my time in Malaysia, my tummy was took some extra, what's the word I'm looking for? Imodium and Pepto-Bismol and things like that to get it back up to tip-top shape. But those are all the things that come with the terrain. So, Boston Elevator says, what would you say the long-term review on the Osmo Pocket 3 is? I still continue to use the Osmo Pocket 3 as my main camera at this point. I no longer travel with my Sony cameras because they're so much bigger than the Osmo Pocket 3. My thing I don't like about the Osmo Pocket 3, particularly with the wireless microphone, is the audio tends to lose sync over time, which is really kind of annoying. Where I've never had that issue with Sony cameras. With Sony cameras and the wireless mics, the audio is always like locked on. So it just sometimes takes a little extra work in editing to like recorrect some of those audio errors. But it is my current favorite travel camera. Michael Aronson says, for some reason I always get sick right at the end of my trip or right after I get back. Well, I guess it's better at the end than at the beginning. So there we go. Lauren says, have you ever been to Loteria, either abroad or in Fullerton, the Korean hamburger chain, right? I have. I have definitely been there. I've not been to the one in Fullerton. Did they open? Like, I've definitely been reading things that they were opening in Southern California, so I guess they have. I don't know. I'm not definitely an In-N-Out Burger fan, which Loteria doesn't like measure that up for me. Oleg says, what's your favorite month to visit Japan? April, cherry blossom month, March, April. That's my favorite time to visit Japan. Pacific Living says, are you planning any big trips coming up? Big trips. Colorado is our next trip. Whether it's big or not, I don't know. That's up for you. Paso asks if I've ever visited Hearst Castle, Cambria. Absolutely, have definitely visited Hearst Castle. Went there with my mom, in fact. All right. Colleen says, I loved your recent video on Downtown Disney at Disneyland. Thank you, Colleen. I'm glad you did. That was one it's been a while since I've done a Downtown Disney tour, so I figured it was worthwhile to update. And then I figured while I'm there, I'd add some value and take you through all the different hotel lobbies and things like that. So glad to see, Colleen, that you enjoyed that video. Boston Elevator says, if only there was In-N-Out in Massachusetts, I want to try it. Well, all you have to do is come to California. Okay. Janelle says, my friends just visited Telluride, Colorado. How was Telluride, Janelle? What did they think about it? Were they there in the summer? Were they there? I guess if they just visited, they were there in the summer. So I've never been to Telluride. Franco says, any plans of visiting Oregon? We need to revisit Oregon. I have been to Portland on like a day visit on my way to Seattle, but definitely worthwhile to re-explore. Lauren says Loteria has open patients needed lines drive-through and eating look crazy. I will wait for it to settle down then, and then I will visit. So thank you for the tip. Henry, thank you for your double support this evening. Henry says, do you think tourism being down in the U.S., especially in Hawaii and Vegas, is only temporary? Will things get better in 2026? By the way, the FIFA World Cup will also be in the U.S. in 2026. I think it'll bounce back. That's my opinion. I mean, I think that my thought on Vegas being down is, it might continue to be like, or stay at the level that it's at. I don't know that it's going to like continue to nosedive, but I feel like there are two primary reasons why tourism in Vegas is down. One, for the domestic visitors from the USA. They were going to Vegas because like everywhere else in the world was closed because of COVID and all those things. People were like, we're going to Vegas. And so many people came to Vegas that all the Vegas hotels were like, so many people are coming. We need to make more money off them. We need to charge more money for parking. We need to raise our hotel prices. And you can only do that so much. And then when people realize other things are open, then they'll go there because the prices in other places maybe haven't gone out of control. I think the Hawaii has the same issue. Just the prices in Hawaii have become so expensive. And like, it's, as an example, in Oahu, the Turtle Bay Resort on Oahu in Hawaii, used to be a mid to upper range hotel, like $400 to $500 a night, stay on a nice beach. Now it's been purchased by, I don't know who's been purchased by, but it's now a Ritz-Carlton, and now the rates are like $1,000 a night. And I think that's what like has been happening in Hawaii over and over again, that the rates have just gone to this level that then many people like, can't do it, so I'm gonna go to Cancun instead. That's a third of the price. Imperial Live Yonder says, what are your thoughts about the F1 race? I am not a big not a big car racing fan. So when people ask me, Chris, do you want to go to Vegas when F1 is going on? Not really, because it's really expensive when F1's going on. So that's not a big thing on my radar. Rig Reynolds says, how do I get ready for the 2028 Olympics in Long Beach? It is, since it's still 3 years off, I don't have a lot of detail about what the events and things like that are. Are you training? Are you going to be in an event? Are you going to be in swimming? Then I guess you better. Rig Rentals would maybe be, is it like monster trucks? Is that an event in the Olympics? Pacific Livin says, ever plan on going to the Middle East? I think it'd be cool to go to Dubai. That's definitely a big one on my radar. But no immediate plans to. Brandon Torres says, Vegas went live by the sword and die by the sword with the high prices. They sure have. So Vegas kind of did it to themselves. Justin Thomas says, what's your favorite foreign potato chip brand flavor? It's the, I think it's by Calbee. There are these Japanese seaweed potato chips that we really enjoy. Points Traveler says, if you want to go to Turtle Bay, use your Marriott Bonvoy points. Absolutely. They're just, Marriott Bonvoy points just don't go very far with Ritz-Carlton's either. So Brandon, who is an F1 fan, says F1 has a fantastic track in Vegas. So that is probably a more valid, useful perspective. If you're like Chris, what does Brandon think about F1 in Vegas? It's funny. It's funny how on my screen some of the emojis come across. Like, I see the emojis in the actual chat window, but then when I click on the thing to pull them up here on the screen, then I get this for Rig Rentals emojis: face green smiling, face fuchsia, wide eyes, face fuchsia. Outlier Gardner says, I'm such a dummy. I thought the Q&A live was next week, not tonight. I'll have to watch the replay for the half hour I missed. Outlier Gardner, I will try to do an extra Q&A next week too, since we're in this mode. If there's still lots of questions after this, obviously, if the questions don't roll in and everybody stops asking questions at this point, then I won't do another one next week. But I'm assuming y'all will still keep asking questions. So. Chicken Marsala says, casinos charging for parking hurt Vegas. Absolutely. The parking, it's just like one of those that adds insult to your stay. You're like, if you wanted me to go, you wouldn't charge me for parking. Jerry Eats and Travels says, have you been to Lake Tahoe? Absolutely. I've been to Lake Tahoe a number of times. An interesting video that I made probably 13 years ago is when OC Girl and I went to Lake Tahoe in the winter, and we were there on one of their biggest snowstorms ever. And so I made a video titled How to Drive in the Snow in Lake Tahoe, because you need snow chains and a whole bunch of things to drive there in the snow. Yeah, they got 8 feet of snow in 2 days or something like that. I mean, it was a lot of snow. I like Lake Tahoe in the winter. I like Lake Tahoe in the summer. It's a fun place to visit. Beautiful. Check out my Lake Tahoe guide if you haven't yet. And then check out Reno while you're there. Dadabetic says the garden walk video was great. Thank you, Dadabetic, for your thumbs up on the garden walk video. If y'all haven't seen it yet, this video I gave an interesting title as I was thinking about this video. And if you're not familiar with Anaheim Garden Walk, it'll make it more apparent as I show you the video and its title. We'll go ahead and find it here. So bringing this up. Okay, so this is the title of the video. It is Disneyland's Forgotten Neighbor Inside the Garden Walk Mall. And so the Anaheim Garden Walk Mall is this mall that is 2 blocks from Disneyland. That was that quick zoom in forward, and it just feels empty. It was this mall that was built in 2008. Here, I can run you through some of this while I talk about it. It was this mall that was built in 2008, and when it opened, it seemed like a regular mall. Had lots of the normal shops you would have in a typical mall. And then, I don't know, 2015, 2016, everything just started to close in there. A Taiwanese investor bought the property for a third of the price that it was built for. It was built for a couple $100 million. This person bought it for like 80 million. And it clearly is in like, it's some of the most expensive real estate in Southern California, being 2 blocks from Disneyland. So many people drive by, so many people walk by, just not many people walk in. And so I get a lot of questions from people who say, Chris, is it worthwhile to visit Anaheim Garden Walk? And so that's what I made this video for, mostly to share that there actually are some pretty cool things to do in there. In particular, the Curious Princess really enjoys going to Billy B's in Anaheim, which is in the Garden Walk Mall. Billy B's, right here, we've done, Blippi did a video of Billy B's that got 16 million views. but the Curious Princess did one at Billy B's that got 1.3 million views, so take that, Blippi. I mean, Curious Princess didn't beat Blippi, but she was a 4-year-old at the time, so I think 1.3 million views for a 4-year-old is pretty good. Okay. Databetic says, Billy B's! Yes, Curious Princess loves Billy B's. Stefan says, is it worth it to pay for better seats and flying economy? I have my own opinion on this, but would love to hear your take. Stefan, I wouldn't pay for, like, better seats in the sense of aisle 12 versus aisle 22, but I would pay for emergency exit row seats, or I would pay for economy plus seats, or I would pay, if only the middle seats were free, to get myself out of that into an aisle seat. I am a 6-foot tall guy, and so I don't fit well in most regular size economy seats, particularly if I'm traveling by myself and there's strangers next to me. I really don't fit in them. It's a different story if I'm traveling with my wife and my daughter and we're the whole row. You know, I can kind of like ooze, I can ooze into the Curious Princess's seat because she's small, and so that all works out. But there's my kind of like matrix of, you know, and then another one about how short's the flight, how long's the flight. If it's a 14-hour flight and you're on your way to Japan and it would really help if you could sleep, then it's really worth it to get a seat that you can actually sleep in. Henry says, will you ever make a video about Atlantic City, New Jersey and their casinos? I would like to. I've never been to Atlantic City. It's on my list of places I would like to go. Burton says, you frequently get spotted by excited fans in Las Vegas and airports, but have you ever randomly met a YouTuber that you were excited about? Burton, is it sad to say that I haven't? Not that I wouldn't be excited about meeting other YouTubers, but I haven't randomly run into a lot of other YouTubers. I mean, I certainly see them at VidCon or things like that, but then I feel like if I'm at a YouTuber event that I didn't like randomly run into them. There's a high likelihood that there are YouTubers there. I've not randomly... Well, actually, here, you know, one interesting run-in to a random YouTuber. I shouldn't call him random, but it was absolutely by chance. Josh from California Through My Lens. We know each other, and we've done some collabs before. And we were both in Washington, D.C. We didn't know that we were both in Washington, D.C. And I was walking around the cherry blossoms in Washington, D.C., doing a vlog about it, and who else was there? Josh from California Through My Lens, also doing a vlog about it, and so that was funny. Small world. So yeah, of course, then the other part that was interesting was while I was walking around those same cherry blossoms on that same day, some other colleagues from my software day job were also there. Like, Chris, what are you doing here? I'm like, what are you doing here? All right, so that was a day that, I don't know, everybody must have been at the cherry blossoms that I know. Derek, thank you so much for your support. Derek says, these live streams are one of my favorite things about your channel. Thanks for all of the travel advice over the years. Thank you, Derek. And it's a pleasure to have you here, a part of the community. I enjoy your passion for food and dining. So thank you, Derek. Janelle says, this bonus Thursday live is worth a like. Everyone, yes, if you've not liked it, let's see, how many likes do we have so far? We have 68 likes on this video, about 116 people watching live. Really helps me out if you like it. And it won't cost you any money. Just hit that thumb up. Would you hit it, massage it, lick it, however you want to hit that thumbs up button. Give it a go. Give it a go. It's cool. We'll get to 1 million subscribers faster if you hit that thumbs up button. Thank you so much. Brandon says your world definitely collided on that day at Washington, D.C. They did. My worlds definitely collided. Pacific Livin 52 says, would you ever move out of SoCal? If so, where would you move to? Well, I talked about Japan being one of the places that I would enjoy going to. I think Hawaii would be fun to live for a while. Osigirl, she grew up in Hawaii, so she's kind of already been there. I think she'd be happy to go back there for another year before coming back to the mainland. So there's a couple. I've lived in Washington, D.C. for a little while, too. Might be fun to live in New York City. So there's a few places to go to. All right. And by the way, I see we're up to 80 likes now, so thank you for those of you that have been hitting that like button. Brandon makes that announcement, too. Thank you, Brandon. Mr. Ang says, click it, don't lick it. All right. All right. If you say so. Okay. Other than Walter's World, have you also watched Gabriel Traveler, Raya and Louis, or Raya and Louie, or Kara and Nate on YouTube? Chris, a collab with them would be epic someday. I have watched all of those, Henry, and I agree. Collab with any or all of them would be great someday too. Raya and Louie. I know Louie, fun for Louie. I was actually just watching his driving his electric scooter to Italy or something like that. Like, and I don't know, if you watch that series, that man is much braver than I am to drive an electric scooter that when it runs out of juice goes like 9 miles per hour on the side of some freeway in Italy. I don't know. My tolerance for death is like lower than his, I think. So I'm glad he made it to the end alive. Stefan says, when are you going to travel to Kentucky? Our Commonwealth is vastly underrated. I have been to Kentucky also once when I drove through Kentucky on my way to the East Coast driving that way. I had some good barbecue in Kentucky, but I clearly need to spend some more time actually exploring it. On the note about buying economy seats, better seats, Stefan Powell says, I always try to purchase exit row because I'm a tall feller too. All right, tall fellers understand. Justin Thomas says, do you have an opinion on the proposed Caesars Palace Casino for Times Square? I guess it can't get any worse. Justin, I've not really dove into the details of the proposal to have an opinion either way. But if it does open, you know I'll be there to make a video on it. There we go. Narrow Road says, would you consider doing a walking tour video of Little Italy in San Diego? Just got back from there yet again, and the food and coffee are amazing. I love the Little Italy neighborhood in San Diego. I have done a walking tour in the past, but I probably need to revive it. It's been a number of years, and I'm also meaning to do a walking tour of the farmers market in Little Italy, which I think is pretty cool too. So thank you for the plus up on Chris. You should get out there and do that. Thank you for the support, Databetic. We are studying your Singapore videos for a summer 2026 trip we have planned. Disney Adventure. Awesome, Databetic. Disney Adventure. Then are you going to go to Japan to go to Tokyo Disney while you're there too? Enjoy the lime juice while you're in Singapore, because I always like to drink the lime juice. Why? Because it makes you pucker. If you've seen my Singapore series, you'll know that's my line from that. Dining with Derek says, what are your 4 favorite foods to eat in Taiwan? You would ask that, Derek, as the person that has food in their thumbnail picture. So appropriate question. My 4 favorite foods in Taiwan, number 1 are pot stickers. There is a pot sticker restaurant that's near where OC Girl's parents live in Yonghe, and I go there pretty much every time, and all this place sells are pot stickers. That's it. And it's not like what type of pot sticker. The only thing on the menu is pot stickers, and the question is just how many do you want? So that's probably 1. My second favorite thing to eat, I love the soup dumplings from Din Tai Fung. Are they better in Taiwan than they are in other places? I think they are, so I like to go there. My third favorite thing in Taiwan, drinks. I like the watermelon juice in Taiwan. And my 4th favorite thing in Taiwan, see, it's hard because now I just got 1 more slot left to pick as number 4. I'm going to go ahead and say the beef noodle soup. Beef noodle soup, pretty popular Taiwanese dish. I would also maybe stack that in with the pork chop rice, which I think is another pretty classic Taiwanese dish that is tasty. Adam Alex says, nobody's asked the serious question. What are your thoughts on the Taylor Swift engagement? Which is, I saw it on the news the other day, and I'm very happy for Taylor that she is happy. That's my that's my thought on the Taylor Swift engagement. Grant says, Alex is asking the hard-hitting questions that everybody wants to know. Alex says, I must go to this pot sticker restaurant. You should, Alex. Pacific Livin' 52 says, is the Curious Princess going to get any brothers or sisters anytime soon? We are likely in the one and done category, Pacific Livin'. Okay. Franco says, have you ever been to all of the U.S. states? No, and if you follow other YouTubers, Ryan Trahan, he just did a video going to all 50 U.S. states in 50 days, which, boy, that's an impressive feat. I think last time I totaled it up, I was something like 38 of the states. What are the ones that I haven't been to? I won't be able to rattle off the complete list here because I went to school in California, so geography is not my strong suit. But I've not been to Alaska. I've not been to, I'll call it like a lot of the western north. So like Wyoming, Montana, Idaho. I've been to most of the southern states, so I've driven like along the 10, the 40, and the 70, so I've kind of done the like southern central U.S. and the eastern seaboard. We haven't yet made it up to Maine, and then kind of in that area that's along the Canadian border on the west we need to visit. I'd also like to go to Puerto Rico. I've not been there as a U.S. territory. Janelle says you got to go to Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. I do have to go to Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. Janelle, by the way, what happened to your Yellow Productions crew shirt thumbnail? I'm missing that. Although your eyes look quite, they look quite big in that thumbnail. Okay. Grant said I had an Alaska cruise booked for May 2020. That was a sad time to have a cruise booked. Did you get your money back, Grant, or was that one that you just ate because it was canceled? KK says Alaska. I'd like to do Alaska. Yeah, I guess most people tend to do it as a cruise. Henry says, Chris, a video with you and your family in the Yellowstone National Park would be amazing too. We have yet to go to Yellowstone National Park. We've yet to visit Yellowstone National Park or Yosemite National Park. So those are two on our list of places to go. Okay, let's see. Points Traveler says, would you ever consider traveling to every country in the world? No, because I have no desire to go to North Korea. So there we go. One of those, like, I think it'd be more realistic to get to every continent in the world, like I could do the Antarctic cruise or something like that. So, all right. Janelle says, all right, I can change it back. I mean, I like your Yellow Productions crew thumbnail. Maybe I'm slightly partial. That's me. Okay. Alex says, I got to visit Idaho for God's country to get the potatoes, no doubt. Kid Blue Creation says, what languages do you speak? I speak English. Yo hablo español. Poorly. Growing up in San Diego, you have to speak some Spanish because you just hear it everywhere. 我会说一点中文, which is I speak a little bit of Chinese. I speak enough Japanese to order my gyoza and my mizu, which are my pot stickers, and my water. My mom is from the Czech Republic, and so I speak like 10 Czech words. I can order my dumplings, which are knedlíky. I can say hello, ahoy. I can say dobrý den. So there we go. That is my linguistic ability. I mean, and in all the other places that I go, learning one or two, bonjour, bonsoir, if we're in some European places. All right. Pacific Livin' says, Yosemite is absolutely breathtaking. Dadabetic says, Jellystone Park. I loved Yogi Bear back in the day. So, yes, it is great for the picnic baskets. My dad, Electric Rick, says, do you find the custom of tipping to be universal? How do you know when and how much to tip? Tipping is mostly a American thing. I would say that Canada kind of rocks it about as much as the USA does. Maybe not as much as the USA, but certainly that tipping culture has gone from the US to Canada. We share it somehow. It is just much less prevalent in the rest of the world. I feel like it's making its way into the UK, but how do you know how much to tip and when? I have a whole video. Tipping, of course. And this is the like, do you tip 15%, 20%? Is the new 15%? So there you go. I mean, I don't think you ever know what the right answer is. Just depends on how you feel that day. And how your server made you feel, whether their service was good or not. Alex says, anyone who makes a potato joke about Idaho has no idea how beautiful it actually is. Well, you know, the other joke I like to make is about Ohio. Because, you know, Ohio, it's the only state that's high in the middle and round on both ends. Oh, high. Oh, there we go. That's my other favorite state joke. Kev says, out of all the places you've been to, where would you choose to live? We would love to live in Japan. We would love to live in Singapore. Those are a couple of international destinations we would love to live at. Henry says, my Spanish is very good. By the way, what is your favorite Mexican restaurant in SoCal? I have a few favorite Mexican restaurants in SoCal. I'll hit you up with a couple in San Diego, and then I'll hit you up with a couple in Orange County or LA. So in San Diego, I really like Las Cuatro Milpas. It is underneath the Coronado Bridge in San Diego's Barrio Logan area. They have delicious fresh-made flour tortillas, fresh fried tacos, super good rice and beans with chorizo. I also like from Tijuana, the new Tacos El Frank that opened in Plaza Bonita. You might have seen my video about that. It's pretty good. And third one in San Diego, if you're looking for birria tacos, Mike's Red Tacos makes really good birria tacos. In Orange County, where I tend to eat most, two Mexican places. One, Baja Fish Tacos. It's a mini chain in the OC. They have about 8 locations. They specialize in fish tacos. I like the blackened fish taco, and I like the shrimp tacos. I also like a place in Tustin, California called Jalapenos. I like their carne asada. And then up in the LA area, I tend to eat a lot coming back from LAX at a place called Benny's Rotisserie Chicken Tacos and Burritos. There's Mexican style, like it's like an El Pollo Loco, except like not the mega chain. So you can get a burrito there with actual rotisserie chicken meat in it. And then there's a new place that has like 3 locations in LA, but one near LAX airport called Taqueria Masa. And they have really good, just really good meats, really good carne asada, really good al pastor, or you can get the burrito that has both. And I like the burritos where they put the cheese on the tortilla, like they take the tortilla and they put it on the grill and they melt the cheese on it and then they put all the stuff inside of it. So there you go. That's my short list of Mexican restaurants. I have a question for my Colorado friends or people who have been there. As we're planning our trip to Colorado, we are thinking about going to, in Denver, we're thinking about going to Casa Bonita from South Park. And we're also thinking about going to the Meow Wolf in Denver. So I'm curious, for any of you who have been to either of those places, are they worthwhile to go to? Let me know. Stefan says, have you visited many places in Europe? I think so. I've visited a lot of countries in Europe, mostly Western Europe, and not so much Eastern Europe. I've kind of stayed away from the like Russian border. Janelle, back rocking the yellow shirt again. Janelle, it's there you go. There you go. Thank you so much for changing that back again. Looks good. Looks good. We're at almost 100 likes. Thank you so much. We're at 97 likes on the live stream. All right, just 3 more. If you haven't done it yet, please hit the like button. 98 now, coming up. Grant says Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita. I guess that's a yes for Casa Bonita. Dai says, have you ever been to Argentina? No, I have not yet been to Argentina. I would absolutely like to, but, you know, the reason why we haven't done a lot of Latin America is just that the flights out of where we live here in Southern California are, like, wholly inconvenient to go to Latin America. Like, there's very few direct flights from LA to Latin America for some bizarre reason. I don't know. And most of the flights we need to connect through, like, Texas. which then just goes like, oh, it's a hassle. Where I can fly direct to Tokyo or any place in Asia. So that's where we tend to go where we tend to go a lot. We're at 106 likes now. Thank you so much for those of you who hit the like button now. Outlier says that I've been to Casa Bonita. The food is terrible, but it's a must visit for South Park fans. All right, well, I'm a big South Park fan. Justin says go to Fairplay, Colorado. It's the real South Park town. Very cool. Michael says the only thing I could say about Meow Wolf is there's no rules. I've done Omega Mart in Vegas and I liked it. So thank you for that perspective. Zach Fob with the cool camcorder there says I've been watching you forever. Have you ever visited St. Martin? No, not yet. And yes, I've been to Eureka, California. I don't think so. I don't think I've been to Eureka yet. Points Traveler says, would you travel to Shanghai anytime soon? I don't know, kind of the world order with China and things like that. Mainland China, not high on my list at the immediate moment. Chicken Marcel says, any plans to go to Dubai? I would love to go to Dubai, but no immediate plans. Kev 10 says Casa Bonita food is not good, but the whole experience is awesome. All right, thank you for that, Kev 10. Databetic says my favorite fast food Albert Tacos. Albert. There are so many like Albertos and Robertos. Another one that I like in Southern California is Adalbertos, Adalbertos. So there we go. But yes, carne asada French fry is a really big thing, particularly coming out of San Diego. RX says, how about you set up a LinkedIn group for fans of Yellow Productions to business network among like-minded friends of Yellow Productions? All right, I will keep that in mind, RX. I don't spend a lot of time on LinkedIn, so that's probably why I just haven't done that yet. Larry, also rocking his Yellow Production shirt, says the tipping culture is getting out of hand. I agree. Janelle says tipping is brutal in Canada. I seriously got to stop giving in to the pressure. Some people that don't even do anything think they deserve a tip. Yeah, to that is what I say. Okay, and Justin says tipping is a headache for us foreigners. It's a headache for us locals too. Rolly Bertos, Eddie Mendoza says. Larry says, do you plan any more cruises other than Disney Wish to Ensenada? No immediate plans. In my previous comment about Girl gets seasick, and she even did on that cruise too, even though it was a short cruise. So we don't have any immediate plans to take more cruises. That's not to say that we wouldn't. You know, if the Disney Cruise Line reached out to us and said, Chris, would you come on the next thing? Like Kara and Nate, they went on they were invited to go on some new cruise ship for like its inaugural voyage. We would totally do that. We'd totally do that. So any cruise lines that want us to come on board, if we're the first ones on board, Kara and Nate, they were the first ones sleep in that cruise ship bed. Girl and I and the Curious Princess, we will be there. Henry says, in all of your epic travels, have you ever met any big time celebrities? Can you name a few? I don't think I've glad-handed any big-time celebrities like that. I mean, I guess well, okay, sure. Probably the biggest big-time celebrity met. Girl and I, we took a picture with Patrick Stewart. Jean-Luc Picard from Star Trek The Next Generation. He was at a Star Trek convention, so we got a picture with him. I also have a picture with Data, Brent Spiner from Star Trek. So those are my two biggest stars. The Wu-Tang Life. Oh, and I guess in my LAX guide, who was back there? It was some pop star, like behind me in, not like Miley Cyrus, but like somebody kind of in that category was like behind me in one of my scenes in the LAX video. That I didn't notice because they were behind me, but everybody else did and commented on it. EJ says, congratulations on 400K. Thank you, EJ, for the congratulations on 400K. It kind of rhymes together. And Grant Yenny says, did you see Jimmy Carter? Yes, I saw ex-president Jimmy Carter. Thank you very much for the reminder, Grant Yenny. Shook hands with Jimmy Carter. He was on a flight, and he went to shake hands with every single person on the flight, which was pretty amazing. I guess I didn't like correlate president with celebrity, but thank you for the correlation of the story. Outlier Gardner says, hey Chris, what is your J job if you don't mind me asking? I think it has something to do with software tech and public speaking. Absolutely, I work in the software industry, and yes, I've now As I'm now an incompetent software developer, I spend most of my time talking about the work that the software developers that I work with do. So that's, I guess you could sort of call me whether I'm a manager or an evangelist of the things that we're working on. So that's me. Some Mail says, how many subscribers would you potentially quit your day job and create content full time? That's a really hard question, Some Mail, because like number of subscribers and like dollars to replace income aren't really like things that match up like one to one. I think Mark Rober, he used to work at Apple and NASA, and he quit his day job after 5 million subscribers. So, you know, I enjoy my day job. I don't work at, you know, Starbucks or some job that's like easy to get again, or I don't like my coworkers. So I have no immediate plans or delusions of grandeur to cash out of that anytime soon. Elon's Musk says Casa Bonita will enrich your soul. All right, I like soul enrichment. Larry says, I saw your Anaheim Garden Walk video. You didn't wear a true yellow shirt. It was more gold. It was more goldish. I got that yellow shirt when we were in Japan from Uniqlo. It is a Uniqlo Airism shirt. It was really hot in Japan, so I got that one day just to be like, oh, I'm sweating, so I need something to doesn't like soak up the sweat as much as the yellow. And that day I was doing the Anaheim Garden Walk video. It was one of the hottest days we've had all year, so that was why I wore that video. Justin says, do live streams make more money than do live streams make money like normal videos? There's no ads. Live streams make money like normal videos, but not when live. So yeah, because you don't get ads while it's live, and I guess this is the plus for you to come in when it's live. You don't get ads. And so, by the way, there's a button that I could hit over here to enable ads during the live stream. And I don't do that because I want your experience in the live stream to just be cool and to be able to hang out. So that's kind of the special part about you come live and you don't get any ads. But as a archive, like if you watch the archive, then they do earn money just like normal videos do, because then you see the ads when you watch the archive. Chris Bates says, loved your Taiwan Costco video. Awesome, Chris Bates. Thank you for the feedback on that one, too. That's another one about like, oh, are people going to watch this? Is it going to be interesting? But I figure it's not something a lot of people have done before, so there we go. Eddie says, I thought your Anaheim Garden Walk, I like the underwater theme. The underwater theme at the parking lot area is pretty interesting. Points Carol asks how long I go in between Flowbee cuts. I go about 2 to 3 months between Flowbee cuts. Depends on, I tend to do a Flowbee before I travel someplace when I'm like, I want my hair like when I wake up in the morning and go to the buffet. Like not have to do all that much to it. So if I'm going to a hot place, then it's definitely getting a Flowbee before my go. Niner says, do you ever get lonely or depressed? Not really, Niner. I generally have a pretty cheery disposition on life. I mean, that's not to say that I'm, Pollyanna about everything. That like, oh, everything's great. Like, not everything's great, but I'm generally kind of like, well, it's up to whatever's going on that's in my way that's making it sad or lonely. Just try to like go through that, and if I'm lonely, go meet some people or go turn on a live stream or something like that. So, Killer Chronicles, do you foresee more top 10 videos in your future? What do you mean by top 10? Like top 10 best things to do in a place, or top 10 best cheap eats, or my videos getting in the top 10 trending on YouTube? Like, tell me more about what you mean about top 10, Killer Chronicles. Alex also said he met Jimmy Carter in Portland. I thought he was a very kind person, too. Janelle says, just wait until you hit 5 million followers. We can say we were here back when. I hope we can all say that someday, Janelle. Fingers crossed. Okay. Kat says, what's your favorite airport lounge and where? My favorite airport lounge is the Singapore Airlines lounge in Singapore, particularly if you get up into the premium lounges, like the business class lounge. The one I tend to go to the most, just because it's the one I'm at the airport the most, is the Centurion Lounge at LAX Airport or the Star Alliance Lounge at LAX Airport. If you have access to the United Club because you're like Star Alliance Gold and you're traveling internationally, then the Star Alliance Lounge over in the International Terminal is way better than the United Club, although it's a long walk Chicken Marcella asks, were you a fan of Huell Hauser? Absolutely, I love Huell Hauser. Did California Gold on PBS. Definitely an inspiration for some of the walk and talks. Killer Chronicles says, I have a live subscriber count on your desk. Where did you get it? Oh, it's called the, what's it called? So this is the tidbit back here, but this is a different one. The one that's up there, I don't know. I'm gonna have to look at it and tell you the name of it. But yeah, I think the live subscriber count. It was one of the. I just thought it was fun to put that up there and look at it. So I'll. I know I have your email because we connected at VidCon. So I'll look at that. Shoot you an email when I can look at it to remember the name. Because if I did it now, you'd all be bored while I walk downstairs. Okay. Liz in Arizona says, Chris, how did you and O'Sigro meet? We met at work, in fact. We started at the same workplace within a couple weeks of each other. So that was how we met. Some mail says Chris's top 10 Asian drinks, the top 10 best hotels on this trip. Yeah, I think more of those are going to come for sure. Top 10 drinks, top 10 this, best, top 8 best hawker centers in Singapore. I did Kuala Lumpur. I did like 8 best shopping malls in Kuala Lumpur. Those are definitely not dead. I don't know. Those tend to be ones that I feel like those are more like when Chris travels by himself, then he has the bandwidth to do that. But when Chris travels with the Curious Princess and O'Sigro, and like we travel with a family, then the output is more the like family vlog, long movie length vlog of a trip. The things to know also, because I know those do very well, the hotel reviews, but then I don't have as much bandwidth to do all of these like numbered ones that I might add if I was just by myself. Alex says, you and O'Sigro starting that close to each other, it was fate. It must have been fate. That's right. Biergard says, met at work. What if HR finds out? Well, we don't work at the same place anymore. So there we go. Eddie says, and by the way, we didn't like work for each other. We were, I guess peers in the organization in different parts of it. So it was not not a deal in a big organization. Eddie says, for your old video that you showed us of Italy, what kind of film and camera was that? That was recorded on a mini DV tape like this, and it was an old Sony mini DV camera. I don't think I have that camera anymore, but it recorded on tapes like this, which I showed in the live stream last week, which is why this is right here at my hand, because I hadn't put it away yet. Okay, we've been going for an hour and 10 minutes. Let's go ahead and do the giveaway. And you know what? Because this was so popular, and you all kept asking questions, I'll try to fit in another one of these here in the near future. Okay, let's go to giveaway time.
Yes, it's the time you've been waiting for. It's time for the giveaway.
All right, fellow explorers, as usual. Oh, this one. You want? Let's go and do this one. Oh, that's not the shirt I was looking for. I was looking for this shirt over here. All right, fellow explorers, as usual in every live stream, I always give away a Yellow Productions crew shirt. But if you want a different design and you want the panda and princess shirt, I'll be happy to send you that one too. Your choice. If you answer one of my questions, and my question for you is. Let's see. Of the videos that I am most proud of, that I talked about at the beginning, what was the topic of the one that was related to Japan? If you're the first person to answer that question, you'll win a Yellow Productions crew shirt shipped to you anywhere in the world. If you don't get to win one and you want to buy one, you can do so at the Yellow Productions shop. You'll find the link right here. And if you want to know when the next live stream is, I'll definitely have one next week on Tuesday. I think for the topic for that one, I'm going to talk about trends in the USA, like trends as a traveler you might see in the USA. Something thinking about as my hair. I need to fix my hair. Maybe I need to Flowbee it again. When we go away to another country like Japan and then we come back, we're like, oh, like all these things in the US are kind of unique. So what are some of those trends that as a visitor coming to the USA, you might be like, oh, I need to know about that, or I didn't know about that. So sign up for that list. You'll know when it is. You'll know when my next Q&A live stream is, and let's find out if there's some winners.
And now we have a winner chicken dinner.
Winner chicken dinner. Okay, we're gonna do this search right here. I see some right answers. The question is, who is the first person to put in the answer? And our winner is Franco Contreras. Congratulations, Franco. Yes, the video was all about Japanese vending machines that we see right here. If you weren't on at the beginning of the stream, that was the cool vending machines in Tokyo, Japan. That was my first popular video that wasn't about Las Vegas. So Franco, send me an email at chris@yellow-productions.com. Let me know your size and your address and which one of those shirts you want, and I'll get it sent out right to you. Well, fellow explorers, thank you so much for the video today. Thank you so much for being part of this journey to 400,000 subscribers. Thank you so much for liking the video, and thank you even more for going to find 2 of your friends to also subscribe to this channel so we can get on the road to 1 million. Well, fellow explorers, as usual, I won't say goodbye because I'll see you in the next video.